Chris Jasper, a member of the famed music group the Isley Brothers, has died at age 73. Michael Jasper, Chris' son, confirmed the news Monday on behalf of their family in a statement on Facebook, which noted that Chris was diagnosed with cancer 2 months earlier. Chris was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, and began studying classical piano when he was 7 years old. He later studied music composition at the Juilliard School of Music in New York City. In 1973, Chris joined the Isley Brothers, formed by Rudolph Isley, Ronald Isley, and O'Kelly Isley. His family lived in the same Cincinnati apartment complex as the Isleys, and he later became an in-law when his older sister, Elaine, married Rudolph. Chris, alongside younger Isley brothers Ernie and Marvin, who also joined the group in 1973, transformed the Isley Brothers from a vocal trio into a self-contained 6-member R&B/funk group, Chris' family said in their statement. His songwriting talent and expertise on keyboards and synthesizers became the cornerstone of the group's signature sound. The statement added, crediting Chris for his involvement in the group's classics For the Love of You, Between the Sheets, and Fight the Power. Come 1984, Chris, Ernie, and Marvin formed their own group, called Isley Jasper Isley. The trio's biggest song was Caravan of Love. Chris began his solo career in 1986 and released 17 albums, including 4 gospel albums, through his own company, Gold City Records. Chris' family said that Superbad, his solo hit released in 1988, advocated for the importance of education, a theme he was passionate about throughout his career. Chris' Gold City label signed other artists including Liz Hogue, Out Front, and Brothaz by Choice. In the final decade of his life, Chris released a greatest hits album in 2015, a cover of Billy Preston's You Are So Beautiful called Share With Me in 2016, and a covers album in 2019. Artists who have sampled Chris' work include Whitney Houston, Aaliyah, Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Shakur, Queen Latifah, Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Gwen Stefani, Fantasia, Will Smith, and Jaheim. Through his career, Chris was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and received the National R&B Society Lifetime Achievement Award, the Soul Trax Lifetime Achievement Award, and the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Chris is survived by his wife of 42 years, Maggie Jasper, and their sons Michael, Nicholas, and Christopher. He will be deeply missed, and his legacy will live on as an inspiration for generations, the family said. Jasper is survived by his wife, Margie Jasper, and 3 sons Michael, Nicholas, and Christopher. They said, "He will be deeply missed, and his legacy will live on as an inspiration for generations." Jasper started learning the classical piano at the age of 7, and later attended the prestigious Juilliard School of Music in New York City, and earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in music composition from C.W. Post, Long Island University. He joined the Isley Brothers in 1973 and was instrumental in shaping their sound and transforming the group from a vocal trio into chart-topping 6-member R&B/funk band. Jasper, who played the keyboard and synthesizer for the Shout hitmakers, would later form the spin-off group Isley Jasper Isley with Ernie and Marvin Isley in 1984, who had a hit with Caravan of Love in 1985. He would go on to launch a successful solo career in 1987, with the prolific star releasing many albums under his Gold City Records label, the last being 2023's It Started With a Kiss. Jasper's music has been sampled by the likes of Whitney Houston, Tupac Shakur, and Jay-Z. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 as a member of the Isley Brothers, and received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014. Chris's classical training laid the foundation for his powerful music that blended his classical training with R&B, funk, and soul. The tribute continues, describing the pivotal role Chris played in shaping the Isley Brothers. In 1973, Chris, alongside Ernie and Marvin Isley, transformed the Isley Brothers from a vocal trio into a self-contained 6-member R&B/funk group. His songwriting talent and expertise on keyboards and synthesizers became the cornerstone of the group's signature sound. Chris was instrumental in writing, arranging, and producing numerous hits, including classics like For the Love of You, Between the Sheets, and Fight the Power. Remembered as a stalwart of the R&B scene throughout the 70s and 80s, Chris was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 alongside the other members of the Isley Brothers. The Isley Brothers, originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, began as a vocal trio consisting of the brothers O'Kelly Isley Jr., Rudolph Isley, and Ronald Isley in the 1950s. They first gained acclaim in 1959 with their fourth single, Shout, written by the three brothers, which became their first single to chart on the Billboard Hot 100 and sold over 1 million copies. In the 1960s, the groups had huge hits like Twist and Shout and the Motown single This Old Heart of Mine Is Weak for You, as well as the Grammy Award-winning hit It's Your Thing. But it wasn't until the group expanded in 1973, including younger brothers Ernie Isley, lead guitar, drums, and Marvin Isley, bass guitar, as well as, and perhaps most pivotally, Rudolph's brother-in-law Chris Jasper, that they reached legendary status. Over the course of the next 10 years, the group was seemingly unstoppable, releasing hit album after hit album, including 3+3, Between the Sheets, and The Heat Is On, with the latter peaking at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. In 1983, the group split up, with Ernie, Marvin, and Chris Jasper forming Isley Jasper Isley, which went on to have continued success. The Isley Brothers are among the few groups ever to have hit the Billboard Hot 100 with new music in 6 different decades, and the only act in musical history to have achieved this accomplishment in consecutive decades. Unbelievably, 16 of the group's albums charted in the top 40, and 13 of those albums have been certified gold, platinum, or multi-platinum by the RIA. Jasper was also honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014, and in 2022 was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. A musical prodigy with perfect pitch, Jasper was also a successful solo musician and record producer who was extremely prolific throughout his career, recording 17 of his own solo albums. He wrote, produced, and performed, vocally and instrumentally, all of these albums. Jasper founded Gold City Records in 1987, which produced his own work and the work of other notable R&B artists. He is survived by Margie Jasper, his wife of 42 years, and their sons, Michael, Nicholas, and Christopher.